What's up, everybody? My name is George Brooks, and I'm one of the founders here at Crema. And if you've been following our most recent videos, you've seen that we've been talking about Venture Lab or Lab Fridays. These are these every other Friday activities that we do with an entire company where we dial down all of our client work and we focus on learning and education and sometimes on actually building a real app. If you haven't heard of Venture Lab, make sure you go back and watch our previous video about Venture Lab and why we do that. And in the last video, we got a chance to talk to Pamela Porto and Luis Chagas about how this one idea popped up around loving and taking care of your plants called Vera. And I love the story that they got to tell in our last video about how they got started, where they are now, the amazing growth they've experienced. Even since that video came out, I think you guys have 10,000 more users, which is awesome. And just the trajectory for where Vera is going. In this video, we're going to talk about how the design of Vera came to life, how there was a system created and a brand created, and what we're excited about where we're going to go with the design from here. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a big thumbs up because we're really trying to tell you the story about how you can use technology, design, and culture to help your individuals and your organizations thrive. Okay, so let's jump in. Pamela, thank you so much for joining me again today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk a little bit. Tell me the kind of journey of creating and getting started with the design of Vera. What was it like to get started with the designs of Vera, which are absolutely gorgeous, by the way. So well done.
So first, the first thing that we did, or I did, was create just medium fidelity wireframes. During the first 4 months of Venture Lab, we didn't even have a brand. We didn't even have a name. We actually didn't focus as much on the design, like what the final product could look like, and more on idea validation. So what I did to have a prototype to test was just creating a medium fidelity wireframes. To get started on that, I start all my projects with a component library template that I have. I do that with client work, with every single client. So what I did is I duplicated that component library that I already had and just tweaked the colors a little bit, made it a little bit, I think, green and yellow. It was like the first exploration.
I mean, it's simple. It's going to be a plant app. It should have green in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I just went with that and build, I had components. So just build components and get something ready to test. Because that was the first task we had, was testing. It was more from a discovery and research standpoint. Those were the things that we wanted to focus on.
Tell me a little bit about what's in that component library. I think that's really interesting that you have kind of this base component piece. What's some examples of things that are in the component library that you have?
So color, so I have a color for action, I have accent color, I have secondary color action, and just a grays and blacks, neutral colors. It's always good to have it's nice because once you decide your action color, then you change that layer style and it changes everything.
Yeah.
And I have utility icons like search icon, very common icons like a home icon. So that library had really standard icons that I can just use for the purpose of testing. Once we had the brand and the style, I just went and tweak those home icons, search icons to the brand of Vera. So it's been really easy to update and manage, especially with a project that I'm not full-time on. I think that was very beneficial, even for recording of the design decisions that I've made long time ago.
So talk a little bit about that. Again, as a reminder, Lab Fridays primarily are only every other Friday. So there's this constraint of time. You've got a small team that you're working with. What was it like to work within that constraint? How does that constraint kind of force you to get creative?
So actually, I think that was very beneficial. I tend to go around ideas a lot. So, like for instance, for the logo, I remember we wanted to tackle the website. I cannot remember what we wanted to do, but we wanted to have veraplanad.com live on that Friday, and I needed a logo. So once we had the name, I remember setting like a 30-minute on my phone. I'm going to finish the logo in 30 minutes so then I can have this in Webflow. So that constraint of time, it was beneficial given the personality that I have, that I tend to just go around. But for every task, I remember setting because we set goals every Friday, we want to have something to demo. Normally the goal is, oh, let's try to demo this at the end of the day. So breaking, setting those chunks of time helps at least to accomplish some of those things that we want to show.
I'm just super curious if that is the logo that you designed in that 30 minutes, still the logo you're using?
Yeah. And you know why? It was because the team really liked it. The only reason why, we have the V of Vera in the logo, it was my thought process was, this is not an app people are going to use daily, like Gmail, Facebook. This is an app that people are probably going to see every other week, every 4 weeks. So I wanted the V to be a reminder of the name Vera. So that's why I went with the V rather than leaves, but you see the leaves on the V. So it was super quick and super simple, and the team really liked it. I actually at the beginning didn't like it. I was like, this is just a placeholder. This is just a placeholder. But it was absorbed by everybody else, and now I like it. I guess I got used to it.
Yeah, and I think what I love about that is one of the things that we talk about is that sometimes it's that constraint forces you to just make a decision, right? You have to move forward because there's something just forcing you to say either that's the 30 minutes or it's that demo at the end of the day. You got to show something, so you better make a decision. You can't spin on it. That's awesome. That really helped you to really get this design pulled together very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was beneficial for us.
So you already mentioned that you started with a template. Tell me a little bit about how that template or that component library turned into what we might refer to as a design system. How did that design system take shape, and what does that look like maybe even today?
So the component library, what I did is that I have a library file and a design file. So every quarter I create a new design file and keep the design has evolved a lot. There's some screens that I explored and that either because they were not due from a technical standpoint or we validated and it didn't work. I just leave those in the old file and then just keep moving with the things that are in the product as of today. So the component library has to stay the same. It's the same file. It's just I just sync that into the new into the final design sketch file. So that library is just the same. It's just colors have been changed. I remember using for the first iteration of Vera using Futura, which is one of my favorite fonts. But it was really expensive, and it would have been so expensive now that we have 30,000 users. We went with the Google Font app. So it was really easy for me to make that change on my design files because I just update the font on the library file and sync all those styles into the final designs.
So this is one of the powerful things with Sketch, and we've made some videos about Sketch in the past before, but Sketch allows you to reference other files, and I think that's what you're saying. That you're using Sketch you're referencing a different file that has all of your symbols, which create that design system for you so that you can replace the master file and it will update the entire design. Yeah,
exactly. So that's that has been very beneficial because we updated colors, like even the pink slightly, we updated that right before we launched the app. So I always keep all the icons on that master library. So if I make a change, like the watering icon, we have gone through probably 3 iterations.
Yeah, right.
So I just change that and then it's sync in the file. So that's it keeps the file fresh and up to date. the
But one of
final.
the feedback that you're getting from so many people is, I love the design of this app. I love the user experience of this app. This is finally something that's as pleasurable to have the plant. I love how, it's that just as pleasurable to have the app as well. And I think something cool that you did is, rather than sticking with a more standard icon library, you ended up creating some custom icons. So that design system, like you said, the watering icon or the home screen icon isn't just a standard home. You really pulled the brand into that entire experience. How has the brand shaped kind of the overarching design theme as you start thinking about all the little pieces that pull together?
Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted with Vera, it was like the first when it came to design, I was like, I want this to stand out when people are searching for plant care management apps in Google Play or the App Store, because when you search, they're all green. So I really wanted Vera to stand out. That's why I moved away from my green palette and got really inspired by this new interior design houseplants trend of blush foliage that we are seeing lately.
Yeah, right.
Combined with green. So that's why Vera has those colors. So I wanted to have that organic feel, but modern feel as well, like an interior, like modern interior design. Those were the inspirations that I used for the brand.
I love that. And it's honestly, I'm kind of a plant nerd myself. I'm not like we've talked about before. I may
Yeah.
not know how to take care of them, but I love having them. So far I haven't killed too many plants. And even more so with Vera, I at least remember to water all my plants. But I love interior design. And so that's been a big inspiration for me. So I can feel that interior design theme getting pulled through the user experience of this. And it's absolutely beautiful. So well done on that. What did it look like for you to test those designs? Did you get an opportunity to test designs before maybe moving into development, or even while you were doing development? Was testing a part of your design process?
Yeah, testing is always a part of the design process, because one of the things we knew from the get-go is that the key differentiator to hit once we hit the market was going to be the UI and the UX.
Mm-hmm.
So, we wanted to meet user needs, but also user wants. So to meet the user wants, you need to interview people and you need to ask people what they actually want to see and where they're at in that consumer journey. So we always test the app once I have ideas for redesign, or after we get feedback, hey, this is what we want to see, this is not working, because we get both. We get this could be better, or we love this. So we would really take those this could be better and design those and then go test. And that's, I normally do 2 or 3 approaches to that problem, and we go with the one that people want. Sometimes we're like, oh, how do they like this? But we thought this was a better direction, but then it's about the user. So we
Yeah.
go with that.
Love that. I love that. And honestly, I think there's so many companies, whether it's a consumer product or a business product, that don't take that time to actually put their designs in front of real potential users. And that's such a valuable stage in the
Yeah,
process. So
it
I like
is. I think that has been really good for us, because we have people we got reviews at the beginning that were like, oh, this could be better, this is lacking, and we were like, okay, let's fix it. And then we saw people updating their reviews on Google Play and saying, oh, I love that you updated this, that people they are realizing that we are listening to them, and we take all the feedback very seriously and go through it. We put new suggestions in a Jira board, in a backlog. We even have thought about creating a Trello board with, where people can actually go and point tickets to see which ones they can prioritize.
I love that. You're including the users in the product journey, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I think, we added, one of our developers had the idea of leave a feedback feature on our app. And it's been amazing, because they are they're submitting ideas all the time and suggestions for improvement. And we have reached out to a lot of those. Hey, would you like to see the next iteration since you submitted this idea? And a lot of people, I interview people like for an idea, and I reach out to them. I got to test the app with 5 of them. So that was really good.
So you've been, you kind of pointed out there a little bit. The app's been live since roughly the end of 2019. We're in almost Q2 of 2020. You have an app that's live. How are you designing while an app is live? How are you actually working with the developer or listening to the feedback and making changes to a live app with a design system?
Yeah, so that's really, it's challenging because the app is live and there are the technical implications. Like I have so many ideas and I want to fix all the things, and sometimes for the development time, this can take 40 hours, but if we go this way, it will only take 4, and then it's a really hard pill to swallow as a designer. But I think the benefit of having a system in place is that those tweaks can be done quickly. We also use InVision, so the developers use that for development. And I actually like to see the designs on my phone when I doing mobile design. So I like that InVision allows you to see the designs, so to test touch points.
Absolutely. Well, in the next video, I know we're going to talk to Louise and we're going to talk more about kind of how the product gets built. But I'm curious from a designer's perspective, what's it like to be collaborating as a part of a product team with that that development team? You guys are not, it isn't something where you throw things over a wall very often. When we were in the office, I used to see you guys getting together on a regular basis and kind of doing design jams or just kind of talking through, here's my approach, here's where I'm going. What's that collaboration look like with the developers?
Yeah, I don't think it can be better, honestly. I think it's, even now that we are remote, we get to meet and we go over the design. Sometimes we change things on the fly. Sometimes I use a sketch and send them the InVision file. So it's been really good because, our developers are always open to feedback. They give me feedback too when they see there is a UX issue. So the communication is really open and transparent. So I think, part of having the tool, and I'm actually trying to use a Sketch Cloud too. Because we have now we are putting I'm putting more focus into UX writing, and I think that's a good way, to collaborate with our marketing specialist and Julie, who's a copywriter at Crema, that help us with content. So it's the collaboration. I don't think it could be better. It's really
pretty
great.
impressive. It's pretty
really
impressive.
great.
I've been really both excited and proud to see you guys, the way that you're working together and the trust that you have between each other. And that trust doesn't come with everybody just agreeing blindly. It is through, we heard this feedback, or I tested this design, or I really want to push in on this idea. Okay, well, we have to push back in some ways. And you guys find this really good rhythm and trusted collaboration, which is, I think, really powerful. And I think what a lot of teams desire, but not a lot of teams actually achieve. So it's awesome to see the way you work.
Yeah, I think communication, it's really important. I value that even more with a project that it's something that you are not full-time on it. And so
because every little bit of communication matters because of that constraint, right?
Yeah, the constraint of time. Yep.
Okay, so the app's live, you've got a design system in place, it looks beautiful, you're getting great reviews. What are you most excited about moving forward with the design of Vera?
With the design, aside the fact of, the new features, I think it's just keep evolving it, but not leaving like the essence of the brand. I think the brand, since we're getting downloads, one of the things they they say when you are not getting downloads, it's to check the brand. Maybe there is something that can be improved. So
Yeah.
the website, so if people are going to the app store and going to the website, we get a lot of traffic on our website too. So that means the brand it's taking us somewhere. So I think it's more evolving the features and the interactions in the app. So from a design standpoint, I think it's more like interaction and function.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, again, it's a beautiful app. I'm so proud that it's coming out of Crema. You guys are doing a great job, both working as a collaborative team, listening to your users, creating a brand that resonates with what people are using it for, right? You've created this bridge between this interior design piece, which is really what plants are a lot of the times. They're a part of people's homes and their design of their homes. Brought that into the entire experience and really have now I love that you're using language and UX copywriting and this whole cohesive brand
that's
to now tell a stronger story.
Yeah, that's the next step. And we always knew the UI and the UX. That's always our goal, because it's been so easy because at Crema, that's what we're known for. We create powerful digital products. So it's been easy to take that as the opportunity to make this a great app.
You've done it. You've done it. Well, hopefully we'll keep adapting and keep doing it. So Pamela, thank you again for joining me today. This is a great conversation. I love learning more about what you're doing and keeping in tabs. Hopefully our audience enjoys it as well. And as a reminder, I just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Make sure to give us a good thumbs up and drop a comment down below. And we will definitely come with more about Vera. Our next video is going to be diving into how did we actually build it. So getting into a little of the nerdy stuff, talking about how the actual app was coded and built with Louise and the team. And I'm really excited to share more with you on the journey of Vera, where we're going next. You guys keep growing. Like I said, maybe by the time we talk to Louise, which I think I'm supposed to record in just a couple of days, there'll be another 10,000 users.
Yeah.
And so I love seeing the growth, love seeing the value and the joy that it's bringing to people's lives. And that's what it's really about, helping people to thrive.